Hello. Hey, it's Monday and I'm back. We are halfway through NaNoWriMo. National Novel Writing Month. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. National Novel Writing Month is more than halfway through. I'm still kind of shocked about that. So here it is. It's the 18th. You should be past the 25,000 word point if you are playing along at home. And I am really excited because I have two counts that I'm keeping for my book, okay? I actually wrote about 5,000 words prior to NaNoWriMo starting because I needed to do some research and that information ended up on the page. So I have been taking that out of my totals. And so when you see it, if you look on my author page on Facebook, you'll see I have actually two totals, my NaNoWriMo total and my book total, the project total. So as of last evening, I had written a total for the whole project of 40,098 words. Wow, 40,000 words. Holy cow. This is a cookbook. It feels really big. Um, and I'm not even close to done. I mean, I've got a minimum of another 20,000 words to put into this, which is good because my nano total is 34,144 words. So another 20,000 words puts me well within the 50,000 word mark and puts me into a good place for finishing up nano. I'm a little bit ahead of the game, which is wonderful. With Thanksgiving coming up, I know I'm not going to be doing some writing over that. So I'm trying to kind of get as much done as I can before we head into Thanksgiving dinner and all of this stuff. But I got a lot done this weekend. I wasn't out of the house this weekend. So amazingly, I got some 6,000 words written. It always helps when I'm out. So I wanted to talk about some of the things that I've been doing because I'm doing a nonfiction cookbook as opposed to a fictional novel. There's a lot of research that goes into each of the recipes I'm doing. Not only am I doing things like test cooking these pieces so that I can give you, the reader, and cook at home decent information. I'm also doing research into the history of the foods that I'm cooking and the recipes that I'm writing. So I wanted to share with you some of the books that I've been using, and they will be in the bibliography in the back of the book because they're a lot of fun. And I just yesterday discovered something so cool. So you use a book and you've used it forever, or you have something, and then you discover it was made by somebody that you know, and it's like, that was me yesterday. So years ago when I got together with hubby, he pointed out this wonderful book. And I don't know, it's probably backwards on there, and I want to show it to you guys. So this is How to Cook Forsoothly by Mistress Catherine de Bale Duchat. And it's a cookbook from the SCA, and hubby picked it up at the Penzic he went to years and years ago in the 80s. So this book is copyright 1979. And I finally, because I was putting the information into my bibliography, I read who the publisher was, and it's Raymond's Quiet Press. Oh my God! I know you guys. I got my Viking brooches from them. I had no idea that they had published things. And then I went, oh, well, duh, it's a press. So I'm having this wonderful, as you can see, this is well used and thumbed through. It's the most gorgeous cookbook ever. It's got all these pretty pages, and it's got illumination and pictures. It's got history. It's got original recipes and where they got them from. I love this book. I use it all the time. One of the problems that I have with it is that it has some recipes in it that it doesn't have attributions for, or that use modern things. And so I'm taking those recipes, following them back and figuring out where they came from, and then actually remaking the recipes, some of them, I think 4 of them, um, from the original recipes, but using Raymond's Quiet Press's book and Katrine's book as for the notations and stuff. So I'm using the original redacted recipes from the 1500s or the 1400s, but I'm also using these modern pieces. And that's kind of a lot of what I'm doing with this. I don't do well at redacting recipes. And in case you don't know, redacting a recipe is when you take a historical recipe, which sounds something like, well, just to pull one out here at random, um, to make sauce of dry prunes. Take prunes and steep them in claret wine. Then take out the stones and stamp them with a few blanched almonds and tossed bread soaked in the wine wherein the prunes were steeped. Stamp all this together, tempering them with a little verjuice and other bastard wine or sugar, which is better. Then strain them and put spice unto them, especially cinnamon. Now, I've read it in plain English. It's really not that easy, and prunes, by the way, are prunes. Um, and I'm not sure what bastard wine is. So I can read these things, even when they're written in Middle English or early modern English. I can generally make out the words. What they don't have is amounts. Hew ye the meat into gobbets. This is a useless statement to me as a cook. Okay, I'm cutting the meat up into pieces. Great. How much? What kind? So, a lot of the recipes that I'm working from have been redacted by other people, and I've credited the people who did that in my cookbook because it's a skill that, I mean, I really don't possess. I can do it, but it takes me a really long time, and you would not get this cookbook for this Christmas, and probably not next Christmas either. Um, so I just want to say thank you to people like Lorna J. Sass and Mistress Katrine and the others who have put in all of the effort redacting recipes because it's not an easy task. Sitting and figuring out all of the pieces that have to go into this and how much of what to use, it gets really complex. And so it's kind of, I'm skipping the redacting part and I'm using a lot of recipes that have already been redacted. Excuse me there. Um, the other thing in the my cookbook, there's a number of recipes that I created myself um, because they were what I had on hand. And I'm sorry, but that to me is the ultimate in medieval peasantry cooking. Oh, look, what do I have? Well, I have leeks, turnips, some chickpeas, and some almond milk. Okay, well, I guess that's what we're having for dinner. And some of my best recipes have been because I had a handful of things with me, and that's what I cooked. So there's a couple of recipes that turned out so well at events. My chickpea curry that was at Harper's, for instance, which not only did my vegans and vegetarians like it, which is who it was intended for, but all of the meat eaters were sniffing around going, can I have some of that? And then I had somebody who was like, you made my husband eat vegetables and he did so and went back for seconds. What have you done with my husband? Well, I cooked for him. So, all right, books that I'm using. So, How to Cook Forsoothly is one of the best ones. My bestie, thank you, Miss Tracy, um, got me these two books that came in my little cookbook. It's To the Queen's Taste and To the King's Taste, and they're both by Lorna J. Sass, and she has taken recipes that are within our period, and I'm also including some Renaissance recipes because I do Renaissance cooking as well. So you've got that. So there is some later period stuff, but I still avoid the potatoes and tomatoes and peppers, even though we could argue that within the Renaissance they were used. I'm not using them in my cooking, and there's none of them, none of that in this book. Um, these two take modern recipe, or took take ancient recipes from 14th century onward and adapt them for modern cooking. And then what I'm doing is taking them, trying them out, and then readapting them so that you can do it not only at home, but also at events where you're cooking over a fire and using less modern techniques. So, um, there's a couple of recipes that come out of those books, um, or that were based out of those books. For instance, the orange chicken that I made this spring, or orange turkey, it was based originally on the recipe that was in To the Queen's Taste. But when that recipe was made, it was different from how I ended up doing it. So I've included my recipe. I'm still crediting uh, Ms. Sass because her recipe was what inspired me, but I did my own based on that and on the techniques that came from other cooking. It gets complicated. And then the last book that I spend a lot of time using is this one, and it's called 12 Months of Monastery Soups. And this is a completely modern book, okay? I mean, it has some historical information in it, and it has a lot of, I got to show you these lovely little woodcuts and stuff, which I just love. Um, but there's a lot of information about ancient soups and where they came from. For instance, let me pull up uh, pottage Germany, which is a sorrel soup. Um, it has stock, butter, sorrel leaves, chopped chevril, which is goat cheese, egg yolks, cream, salt, and pepper. So something that was perfectly able to have been cooked in the Middle Ages. Um, and there's actually, oh, here's one that I thought was fun. Saint Joseph's chickpea soup. So there's a little thing down at the bottom. It says Saint Joseph, Jesus's foster father, is the patron of fathers of families, bursars and prosecutors, manual workers, and especially carpenters, the universal church, and those who pray for a holy death. Always honored by followers of the monastic path, including Saint Teresa of Avila, he is the saint to whom monks and nuns make recourse whenever there is a serious financial problem in a monastery. His feast is celebrated on March 19th, and he has an additional feast day on May 1st as Saint Joseph the Worker. So there's all these little neat tidbits and that are at the bottom of the recipes. And these recipes are so simple that they could be done by anybody, and they're very quick to go together. Um, while it's perfectly possible for you to, you know, soak dried chickpeas and do them that way, and then cook them and then put them in. I use canned. Um, he's got what use water and bouillon cubes. You could make your own broth. All of these things are completely possible, and you can do them and have them ready and uh, take hours to cook them. And I will be honest, having done it both ways, I get the same kind of flavor out of doing it with good quality canned goods. So if I want a quick soup, especially for an event where I just need to get some food into my fighters or into my actors, or as a side or a start for a feast, and I'm spending a lot of time doing a major dish, and I just want something to put on the table to keep people from grumping at me while I'm cooking other things, uh, I just I will throw together a very quick soup using dried goods, canned goods, and what I have on hand. And that's a very medieval thing. That's what you did. You took food, you boiled it, you ate the results. So all of these things are going into the cookbook, and they're going in really rapidly, and I'm really excited about it. So I know some of you out there are not at the halfway mark. Please don't panic. First off, you still have 2 more weeks to go. So don't give up hope. But the other thing, and I've said this in some of the groups, and I'm going to keep saying it over and over again, don't give up. The first year I signed up for NaNoWriMo, which was like, I don't know, 2007, 2008, something like that. And I sat down and I wrote a title down, and then I was busy or sick or something the first day. And then the second day came by and I was not feeling well. And then the third day came by and I looked at it and I went, well, I didn't write anything those 2 days, and I gave up. I didn't write anything. I lost that year. And I lost the next couple of years because I started to write and then I stopped. If you write, if you keep writing and you don't give up, the fact that you missed a few days or come short of 50,000 words doesn't matter. What matters is that you not give up. So you had a bad day. Okay, great. Take a deep breath and start fresh right now. Today's a new day. Start today. Make your word goal for today. I can't stress, you can't edit nothing. Okay? This this draft that you're writing right now is the worst it's ever going to be. It will never be worse than it is right now. So get your crap down on paper. You can go back and edit it through December, or if you're like me, you take a break in December and you go put it out in January. You've got time. And if you don't get it finished, that's okay. You have months and months. You can keep doing this through December if you like. I actually have a project to get out in December. And then in January, I'm actually going to start writing some other stuff. I have lots of projects. I have lots of writing to do. You can come join me and we can do write ins. I don't care. Don't give up. Don't give up, not because of other people, not because of NaNoWriMo, not because of anything anybody else is saying. Don't give up because of you. Okay? You deserve this. You deserve the time. You deserve the finished product, even if it's crap. Maybe even especially if it's crap. Excuse me. Um, you deserve this. You deserve to be able to look at it and say, I did my best and I won. Even if you don't make that 50,000 words. I believe in you. Please believe in me because I can feel the love. That's why I am at 40,000 words on this project. Yes. So you can do this too. I believe in you. So go do it. Remember to subscribe. I think it's down over here. If not, it's down over there. But I'm pretty sure it's over here. Remember to subscribe and you'll get notice when I do my videos. And come and join me on Mondays. And sometimes I do other things during the week. And I might actually open up a live chat today. We'll see how I'm feeling. I'm in a pretty good place, so we'll see what happens. You'll have to listen to my soft jazz, but it's all good. So I love you guys. I will see you next week. Don't forget to, whichever side it's on, subscribe. See you next Monday.